Welcome everyone. My name is Todd Wilson. Hope everybody is doing okay out there. Really in the midst of all that's going on in the world right now. One thing that I am focusing on is the idea of just being present. And remembering that everything is a process. To get from point A to point B, sometimes isn't a straight line, but we have to do a lot of turns, a lot of zigs and zags to get there. And to remember in the process of whatever it is we want to accomplish, to do things in a step-by-step way can make it easier to get to our ultimate goal. And to set attainable goals to reach our bigger goals. And right now with everything kind of being shut down for the most part, things are starting to open up in different counties around Oregon and across the country, but it is a process. Not every county is opening up right away, and there's a set of qualifications that each county has to go through. And that idea that it's a process that we're all a part of. And remember that to get to kind of where we want to go, which is some kind of return to normal, that it's a process, and to not forget that the process is a part of life. It's not the destination that's the where life happens. It's getting to the destination is where life happens. And to be comfortable with the process, as uncomfortable as it might be sometimes. To be present in our lives, even when everything is kind of shifting and changing and uncertain. And yoga is practice, a process, and to remember that it's something that isn't really about achieving perfection, but it's about being comfortable with the process. To work towards our goals, which sometimes can be getting a pose down, but to be okay with the process of getting there, and to be patient in that process as well. With that, let's go ahead and close the eyes and allow your hands to rest wherever is most comfortable for you. Breathing in and out through the nose, start to deepen the breath, and at the same time, slow the breath down. With each breath in, breathe not only into the upper part of the chest, but take the breath deep down towards the belly and the pelvic floor. As the spine lengthens, the collarbones lift, expand the ribs both forward and back. Just as evenly, with each exhale, drawing back in towards the heart center. Slight pause at the top and the bottom of each breath. And slightly restrict the back of the throat just enough to make a sound to gauge the evenness of the breath for Ujjayi breath or victory breath. Staying with this slow, steady, even breathing throughout your practice today. Bring your hands together in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra. And let's make the sound of Om 3 times, with each Om going from A to O to in one smooth, fluid sound. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in. Gently press the thumbs against the sternum. And as you inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, bow to the heart. Release the hands, lift the head, open the eyes. And you might have some blocks, if you have those, or books. And we are going to use those, so go ahead and get those ready if you don't have those already on hand. And let's come to child's pose. So bring the arms out in front, and the seat can come back towards the heels. And make room between the knees to allow room for the belly and to widen the hips with the forehead coming down. Just allow yourself to relax here for a few breaths. Keeping the forehead down, go ahead and lift the elbows, come up onto your fingertips. And as if you had suction cups on the tips of your fingers, gently pull back with the hands, engaging the shoulder blades more on the back. Then pick up the forehead and the belly. Walk your hands towards the right side, keeping the left hip grounded. Take a few breaths over here. Walking the hands back to center and towards the left side, keeping the right hip grounded. Take a few breaths on this side. Walking the hands back to center, come up to all fours. Keep the hips over the knees, and then walk your hands out in front, bringing the forehead down for Anahata Asana, or heart softening pose. And keep the elbows lifted, press down with the fingers, the thumbs, and the knuckles, engaging the shoulder blades more on the back. If you want a deeper back bend, you might bring the chin or the chest closer to the floor. Walking the hands back to all fours, or table pose with the wrists under the shoulders, the hips over the knees. Take a few breaths here. And with each breath in, breathing into the back of the ribs and the back of the waistline, expanding the back of the body. With each exhale, allow yourself to soften and relax, and just allowing for the fullness of the breath. Then pulling back with the hands, lengthening the spine as you inhale. Bring the head up, the heart forward as the front of the pelvis comes down for cow. Then pressing forward with the hands, lengthening the spine. As you exhale, round the back. For this first cat stretch, you can roll the spine forward and back a few times. On your next inhale, lengthening, coming back up to cow. And exhale, rounding back to cat. Go through a few more cat and cows on your own, connecting the breath with the movement while maintaining the length in the spine. And then after your next cat stretch, coming back to table, bring one shoulder, one hip closer together, the other shoulder, the other hip closer together. Just make some movement from side to side. And then coming back to center, go ahead and place the hands about half a foot in front of the shoulders. Spread the fingers wide. Line the crease, the bend of the wrist, parallel with the top of the mat. Tuck the toes with the feet hip width apart and parallel to one another. Lift the knees, lift the hips, and press back to downward facing dog. You can walk the legs out some, bending one knee and the opposite knee. And then coming into a stillness in a down dog. Take a few breaths here. First, get the arms in the back more in line.
With each inhale, lengthening through the spine, lifting the hips. With each exhale, grounding through the hands and the feet, softening the heart towards the earth. Then as you inhale, float forward to plank. Bring the shoulders over the wrists, heels over the toes. Take a few breaths here, lifting the back of the neck towards the ceiling. Lengthening from the top of the head through the heels with a subtle tilt of the pelvis. Front of the pelvis lifting, tailbone reaching back, getting the legs and the back more in line. As you exhale, slowly lower to the earth. Bring the knees, the chest, and the chin down. Slide forward, drop the top of the feet, and come up onto the forearms for Sphinx. The elbows right under the shoulders, palms down flat. Pull back with the hands and the forearms, and as you lift the heart, broaden the shoulders, and take a few breaths here, allowing the upper back to soften some. And then coming back down, bring the hands next to the ribs, the wrists right under the elbows. Lift and lengthen the right leg and place it back down. Lift and lengthen the left leg and place it back down. Keeping the tops of the feet down, tone the calves, thighs, and tush. Peel the shoulders away from the floor. Pull back with the hands, lengthening the spine as you inhale. Gently rise up to cobra. As you exhale, come back down. Again, legs toned. Peel the shoulders back. Pull back with the hands, lengthening as you inhale. Rise up. Exhale, come back down. Again, legs toned. Peel the shoulders back. Pull back with the hands, lengthen as you inhale. Rise up. Take a few breaths here this time, keeping the shoulders wide, the legs toned, and allowing your lower back to soften some, distributing the weight through the fingers, thumbs, and knuckles for Bhujangasana Cobra. Then as you exhale, come back down. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, thighs, and hips. Keep the legs and the back in a line and press all the way up to plank. Inhale to lengthen. And as you exhale, lift from the belly to press back to downward facing dog. And then go ahead and come down to the knees. And you might come to sitting for a minute. We're going to go over Chaturanga real quick. I just want to show you just some basic alignment in Chaturanga, because it's supposed that often isn't broken down, and it's hard to kind of tell where you're at. So you can use your blocks here or books. Roughly about the length of your forearm is a good indicator. So this block on the tall setting is the length of my forearm, so I'll use that. But you might stack up books about that same height. And the way to really tell if you have that alignment correct is to first come into a plank with the blocks right in front of your hands. And then as you exhale, lower down, but you want to make sure you're not letting the shoulders get below the height of the elbows. So don't drop down like that. That's what happens a lot. Keep looking forward as opposed to looking down, the heart going forward. But don't let your hips drop. Keep the legs and the back in a line. And this is Chaturanga. And then from here, you straighten the arms, bring the tops of the feet down, inhale, coming up to upward facing dog. And then stepping or rolling over the toes, exhale back to down dog. So go ahead and give that a try. Again, you can get your books or your blocks in front of the hands, about the height of your forearms or your elbows. And then as you inhale, float forward to plank from down dog. And exhale, keep the elbows over the wrists and lower down. And again, don't let the shoulders get below the height of the elbows. Heart extending forward, legs and back in a line. Hold it for a few breaths if you can. You can also bring the knees down if you want to just work on the alignment without making it super hard. And again, as you inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And so give that just a try. Don't wear yourself out on it yet, because we're going to do some more. Then coming back with your blocks just out of the way, what we're going to do is first come back to down dog, step the feet closer together, inhale, lift the heels, exhale, bend the knees, step, walk, hop, jump, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway, and then heel and toe your feet further apart, just wider than the hips, keeping the feet parallel. And then bending the knees, let your neck and your head relax as you gently sway a little from side to side. You might grab opposite elbows here. And then switch the way your arms are laced. Again, you can sway a little. Then release the arms. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to the hips, fingers on the front, thumbs on the back. Ground the hips towards the heels as you inhale, lengthen through the spine, and rise all the way up to standing. And then release the arms to the side, step the feet hip width apart and parallel to one another. We're going to do some jump backs here, and it's really, I would say, better to land in Chaturanga than to land in a plank. So I'll do this sideways just so, again, you can kind of see the alignment, and then we'll do a few together. So the inhale, floating the arms overhead. Exhale, a forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, place the hands, bend the knees, and then jump back to Chaturanga. Inhale, tops of the feet come down, arms straighten, lifting the hips for upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, then step, walk, hop, jump, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Ground through the feet, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, float the hands to the sky. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And so now we'll do a few together, and then I'll let you do some on your own. So standing at the top of your mat, inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Inhale, a halfway lift, bend the knees, place the hands, then jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Step, walk, hop, jump, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Ground through the feet, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, float the hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Inhale, a halfway lift, place the hands, bend the knees. Jump back, Chaturanga. As you exhale, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, step, walk, hop, jump, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Ground through the feet, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, float the hands to the sky. And exhale, hands to the heart. So go ahead and do a few more on your own, however many you want. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. And so you can keep doing those, or there is the option to do a handstand when you jump back forward. And to do that, it's really important to get the hips over the shoulders. I'll turn my mat sideways here so you can see, and hopefully I can get one in here. Starting at the top of your mat, same First part, inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, a halfway lift, bend the knees, place the hands, exhale. Jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then feet closer together. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. And then, again, hips over the shoulders. And you might extend the legs. Inhale, a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Ground through the feet. Lengthen through the spine. Inhale, float the hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. So I'll do one more. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, a halfway lift. Bend the knees, place the hands. Exhale, jump back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Again, step, jump, or handstand to the top of the mat. Inhale, a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Ground through the feet. Lengthen through the spine. Inhale, float the hands to the sky. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And so, however many you did, go ahead and come back to the top of the mat. And then we'll inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Place the hands and then step back into downward facing dog. And then inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lower to the earth, slide forward, drop the top of the feet. And then interlace your fingers behind the back. Straighten the arms and peel the shoulders away from the floor. Lift the arms, lift the legs, and bring the feet together for Shavasana Locust pose. And then switch the way your fingers are laced. Keep the breath steady. Keep the legs and the arms lifted. Then release the hands next to the hips, palms facing down. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Extend the arms out on either side, a full breath in and a full breath out. Bring the arms out in front, a full breath in and a full breath out. Then stacking the hands, making a pillow, you can either bring the forehead down or turn the head to one side. Toes together, heels falling away from each other, and relax. And then coming back to center, go ahead and bend the knees, reach back, see if you can grab a hold of the top of the feet, ankles, or shins. You can always do one at a time here. Press the feet against the hands, and as you pull back, peel the shoulders away from the floor. The thighs might lift. The inhale might rock you back slightly. The exhale forward. Dhanurasana, bow pose. Then if you can keep a hold of the legs and roll to the left side, do that. If you need to release the legs and then roll to the side, you can do it that way. If it's a challenge to grab both, you might just grab the top foot with the top hand, but keep both shoulders, both arms back behind you. Coming back to center, make your way to the right side. And again, if you want to just grab one, grab the top foot, but keep both shoulders, both arms back behind you. Coming back to center, stack your hands the opposite way you did last time. Forehead down or turn your head the opposite way, toes together, heels falling away from each other, and relax. And then coming back to center, come up to all fours or table pose with the wrists under the shoulders, the hips over the knees. Take a few breaths here. With each inhale, breathing into the back of the ribs and the back of the waistline, expanding the back of the body. And with each exhale, allow yourself to soften and relax. And just allow for the fullness of the breath. Then inhale the right arm out in front and the left leg off the mat, back behind you. Keep the hips and shoulders level with the earth and take a couple of breaths here. Then as you exhale, bring the knee and the elbow in, round the back. Inhale, extend the arm and the leg. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, bring the knee and the elbow in. Inhale, extend the arm and the leg, staying here, or bending the back knee on the big toe edge. Grab a hold of the top of the foot, ankle, or shin. Press the foot against the hand as you pull back. Keep the hips level with the earth. Left shoulder strong as the left thigh lifts. And release. Bring the hand and the knee back down. Take a breath or two. Then inhale the left arm out in front and extend the right leg off the mat, back behind you. Hips and shoulders level with the earth. Take a couple of breaths here. As you exhale, bring the knee and the elbow in, round the back. Inhale, extend the arm and the leg. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, bring the knee and the elbow in. Inhale, extend the arm and the leg, staying here, or bending the back knee. On the big toe edge, grab a hold of the top of the foot, ankle, or shin. Press the foot against the hand as you pull back. Keep the hips level with the earth. Right shoulder strong as the right thigh lifts. And release. Bring the hand and the knee back down. Take a breath or two. And then inhale the right arm off to the side. And as you exhale, thread the right under the left. Bend the left elbow. Come up onto the left fingertips. As much as you're able to, bring the back of the head and the back of the shoulder to the mat, keeping the hips level with the earth. You might pick up your left knee, but keep the left foot and toes on the ground, hips level with the earth. Option to bring the left arm up, possibly bringing the left hand to the right hip or grabbing the top of the right thigh. Keep your right shoulder strong as it supports your weight, lengthening through the spine, the breath steady. Bring the left arm back up and around. The left knee can come back down. Inhale the right arm off to the side, and exhale, bring the hand back to the mat. Inhale the left arm off to the side. Exhale, thread the left under the right. Bend the right elbow and come up onto the right fingertips. As much as you're able to, bring the back of the head and the back of the shoulder to the mat. Hips level with the earth. You might pick up your right knee, but keep the right foot and toes on the ground. And the option to bring your right arm up, possibly bringing the right hand to the left hip or grabbing the top of the left thigh. Keep the left shoulder strong as it supports you, lengthening through the spine, the breath steady. Bring the right arm back up and around. The right knee can come back down. Inhale the left arm off to the side, and exhale to bring the hand back to the mat. And then come back to sitting on your heels. You can use your knuckles and your fists and give the bottom of the feet and the toes a quick massage. And then coming up onto your knees. And you can always double your mat or use a blanket under the knees if you want more padding. There's also an option to use your blocks or your books here and have those next to the calves or the shins. Then bring your hands around the waistline. And as if you were tightening a belt the opposite way, tighten the hands towards the sacrum. Use the hands to ground the hips towards the knees. As you inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine, keep the hips over the knees, and as you exhale, start to tilt back. You might keep the tops of the feet down or tuck the toes, your choice. The hands can stay on the hips, or if you do want to go for your heels or blocks, one arm at a time, inhale, bring the arm up, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, reach back. If you can grab the heels, stay there. Or you might bring your hand to a block next to the calf of the shin, or back to the hip. Inhale the other arm up, lengthening as you exhale, bring it back. And whether your hands are on your heels, your blocks, or the hips, make sure you're not cramming the lower back.
Keep lifting the heart, lengthening the spine, continuing the arc of the spine through your neck and the top of the head for Uttanasana, camel pose. One hand at a time, bring the hands back to the hips and inhale to rise back up. And then bring your hands to the top of the mat, tuck the toes, and press back to downward facing dog. And keep the right hand down. Bring the left hand to the outside of the right calf. If you need to walk the feet closer to the hand to allow for this, feel free. Press through the fingers, thumb, and knuckles of the right hand as you inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to look underneath the right arm. Keep the hips and the knees even with one another, and take a few breaths in. Inhale, back to center, place the left hand, and bring the right hand to the outside of the left calf. Press through the fingers, thumb, and knuckles. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, twist to look underneath the left arm. Keep the hips and the knees even with one another, and take a few breaths on this side. Inhale, back to center, place the hand. Step the feet closer together. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Step, walk, hop, jump, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway, and then fingertips to the floor or hands to blocks or your books. Get strong in the left leg and extend the right leg off the mat, back behind you. Keep the hips level with the earth, and as you inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over that strong left leg for the standing splits. If you want to try some balance, you might bring the left hand to the back of the left heel, back of the ankle, or the back of the shin. Inhale, come up halfway, place the hands. Bring the right foot back down. Exhale, fold. Inhale, a halfway lift. Place the hands, get strong in the right leg. And extend the left leg off the mat, back behind you. Hips level with the earth. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over that strong right leg for the standing splits. If you want to try some balance, you might bring the right hand to the back of the right heel, ankle, or shin. Inhale, come up halfway, place the hands, bring the left foot back down. Exhale, fold. Ground through the feet, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, float the hands to the sky. And then keep the feet hip-width apart and parallel with one another as you exhale. Bend the knees and bring the fingertips towards the floor. Keep the seat low, then inhale the arms out in front. Exhale, sink the seat. Inhale, bring the arms and the torso up a quarter of the way. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, another quarter of the way. Exhale, sink the seat. Inhale, another quarter of the way. Keep the seat low. Lift the heart, lift the ribs. And inhale the arms all the way up for Uttanasana, chair pose. Then as you exhale, bend the elbows, lift the heart, and stick out the tongue for dragon breath. Inhale, sweep the arms, exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms, exhale. Inhale, bring the arms up. This time, bend the elbows and interlace your fingers behind the back of the head at the base of the skull. Bring the elbows in, shoulder width apart. Press the head against the hands as you gently lift and lengthen the back of the head and the neck. Shoulders coming back as the heart lifts. Inhale the arms next to the ears. Exhale, sink the seat. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Ground through the feet, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, float the hands to the sky. And then step your big toes closer together, heels just apart. As you exhale, bend the knees and bring the fingertips towards the floor. Keeping the seat low, sweep the arms wide, lift the heart, lift the ribs, and inhale the arms overhead. Then exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, twist towards the left side. Keep the hips and the knees even with one another. Spine long, seat low.
breath steady. You can keep the hands together, or the option to release the right hand towards the mat, left hand towards the ceiling, but keep the hips and the knees even, the spine long. Bring the hands back together, inhale back to center, and exhale, twist to the right. Again, hips and knees even with one another, spine long, seat low, breath steady. Keep the hands together, or release the left hand towards the mat, right hand towards the ceiling, keeping the hips and the knees even, the spine long. Bring the hands back together, inhale back to center, come back to standing, and release the arms to the sides. Step the feet hip width apart and parallel with one another. Spread the toes wide and spread the feet out with all four corners of the feet connected to the earth. The arches lifting. Rotate the thighs in. Root the tail towards the heels. Tailbone towards the heels. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine. And exhale, allow your arms and your shoulders to relax. Close the eyes and take a few breaths here into Savasana, mountain pose. Just allow yourself to relax into this good posture. And again, just remembering the process and in learning something new or going beyond what you've done, to not overwhelm yourself with what you want to accomplish, trying to do everything at one time, but to do things step by step. Set attainable goals to reach your bigger goals. Open the eyes, and then shifting weight to the left foot. You might have your blocks out in front. Bring the right heel just above the left ankle, hands together in front of the heart. Grounding through all four corners of the left foot, lifting the heart. You might stay here, or you might bring the foot to the calf, or you might even bring the bottom of the foot to the inside of the thigh. Keep opening the right thigh behind you. The hands can stay at the heart, or keeping that heart center awareness, you might bring the arms overhead, possibly opening the arms, opening the fingers for Vrksasana, tree pose. And then bringing the hands back to the heart. Bring the right knee out in front. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, fold, extending your right leg off the mat, back behind you, stopping about halfway. The blocks are there if you want to bring the hands down. Hips level with the earth, back toes pointing down, heart extending forward, and focus on a point at least 3 or 4 feet, maybe further out in front. If you're balanced, the hands can stay at the heart, or go back by the hips, palms facing down, off to the sides, or out in front. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Slowly bending the front knee, as you exhale, float yourself back into a high crescent lunge. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine, and then hook your thumbs together. Gently pull the thumbs apart, reaching through the back heel and the front knee, hips coming down evenly as the heart lifts. As you exhale, extend to the left side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center. Then as you exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart, the back knee coming down. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, twist towards the left side. You might use your left hand on the thigh to help the right elbow come around. The hands might stay together or come back together. The back knee can stay down, or it has the option to lift. And you might keep your hands together, or feel free to release the right hand towards the floor, left hand towards the ceiling. And there's even the option for the bind. First, the back of the left hand to the right hip, and possibly reaching underneath the front thigh on the pinky toe edge, connecting the fingers. Parvrita, Parsvokhanasana, revolve side angle pose. And be careful with your shoulder here, the twist coming from the torso. Bringing the hands back together, carefully as you inhale, come back to center, place the hands, and then drop your back foot parallel with the back of the mat, and windmill the arms up for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. The front knee over the ankle, front heel lined up with the back heel or the back arch are in that range, and the front knee and thigh in a line with the middle toe. As you inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, ground through both feet, stretching the hips evenly in both directions. Looking past the left, make sure the left and the right arm are about even. As you inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the arms overhead. As you exhale, ground through the back foot, bend the front knee, and open to Warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the arms overhead. And exhale, Vira 2. Then flip the left palm up, right hand to the back thigh. Inhale the left arm overhead, rotate the heart and torso towards the front knee. As you exhale, tilt back, reversing your warrior. Bend the left elbow and bring the hand to the base of the skull, right above the neck. Back of the right hand to the outside of the left hip. And you might stay here, or feel free to walk the hands closer together, possibly connecting the fingers for the archer's bind. Keep the front knee bent, the heart lifting, the breath steady. Inhale the arms back to Warrior 2. Then as you exhale, bring the left forearm to the thigh, right hand to the hip. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist the whole torso, bringing the right shoulder back. You can stay here, or you might bring the left hand to a block, your choice in the setting, or to the floor, but make sure the knee stays over the ankle. The right arm extending towards the ceiling. If you can keep the right shoulder stacked over the left, you might extend the arm next to the ear, palm facing down. And the option for the bind, first the back of the right hand to the left hip, then reaching underneath the big toe edge of the front thigh with the left arm, you might grab the right fingers or the right wrist. Keep the right shoulder back as you lengthen through the spine. Parsvottanasana, side angle pose. Then release the hands to the top of the mat. Pick up the back heel and inhale the front left leg back to a three-legged dog. And then stack the left hip over the right, bend the knee, and open to scorpion dog. Keep the right shoulder strong. You can stir the left foot and ankle. You can stay here, or the option to flip your dog. If you're going to do that, first float forward, shoulders over the wrists, pivots the pinky toe to the right foot. Left foot dropping behind you, left hand to the heart. Inhale to lift the hips, lift the heart, possibly extending the left arm. Left hand back to the heart, back to the mat. Inhale the left leg back to a three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the foot to downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank, bring the feet together, and then roll to the left hand and the pinky toe edge of the left foot for Vashisthasana, side plank. There's always the option to come down to the forearm. You can stack the right leg or step the right foot out in front. Right arm extending towards the ceiling. You might extend the arm next to the ear, palm facing down, lifting the hips, with the option to lift the leg, the arm, and the hips together. Bring the leg back down, hand back to the hip. Carefully come back to plank. Exhale, lower, either halfway, Chaturanga, or all the way to the earth. Slide forward, drop the top of the feet, lengthening as you inhale, rise up to cobra, or upward facing dog. Stepping over the toes, or rolling over the toes, lift the hips, and exhale back to down dog. Step the feet closer together. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, step, walk, hop, jump, or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold, round through the feet, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, float the hands to the sky. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Take a few breaths here. Just coming back to the breath. You might have your blocks ready. Again, out in front. And then shifting weight to the right foot, bring the left heel just above the right ankle. Hands together in front of the heart, grounding through all four corners of the right foot, lifting the heart, staying here, or bringing the foot to the calf, or to the inside of the thigh. Keep opening the left thigh behind you. The hands can stay at the heart, or keeping that heart center awareness, you might bring the arms overhead, possibly opening the arms, opening the fingers for Vrksasana, tree pose. Bringing the hands back to the heart, bring the left knee out in front. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold, extending the left leg off the mat, back behind you. Stopping about halfway, the blocks are there if you want to use them. Hips level with the earth, back toes pointing down, heart extending forward. Focus on a point at least 3 or 4 feet, maybe further out in front. If you're balanced, the hands can stay at the heart, or go back by the hips, palms facing down, off to the sides, or out in front. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Slowly bending the front knee. As you exhale, float yourself back into a high crescent lunge. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine, hook your thumbs the opposite way you did last time. And as you exhale, extend to the right side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart, the back knee coming down. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, twist to the right. And the back knee can stay down, or it has the option to lift. The hands can stay together, or you might release the left hand towards the floor, right hand towards the ceiling. Option for the bind. First, the back of the right hand to the outside of the left hip, and possibly reaching underneath the pinky toe edge of the front thigh with the left arm, connecting the fingers. Again, be careful with the shoulder. The twist coming from the torso, Parvrita, Parsvottanasana, revolve side pose. Bringing the hands back together. Carefully as you inhale, come back to center. Drop the back foot parallel with the back of the mat. Then windmill the arms up for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Front knee over the ankle, front heel lined up with the back heel or the back arch in that range, and the front knee and thigh in a line with the middle toe. Looking past the right, but make sure the left and the right arm are about you. As you inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the arms overhead, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, round through the back foot, bend the front knee, and open a Warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the arms overhead. And exhale, Vira 2. Flip the right palm up, left hand to the back thigh. Inhale the right arm overhead, rotate the heart and torso towards the front knee. As you exhale, tilt back, reversing your warrior. You can stay here, or actually bend the right elbow, bring the hand to the base of the skull, back of the left hand to the outside of the right hip. Staying here, or you might walk your hands closer together, possibly connecting the fingers for the archer's bind. Keep the front knee bent, heart lifting, and the breath steady. Inhale the arms back to Warrior 2. As you exhale, bring the right forearm to the thigh, left hand to the hip. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist the whole torso, bringing the left shoulder back, staying here. Or you can bring the right hand to a block or to the floor. Left arm extending towards the ceiling. You can stay here, or if you can keep that left shoulder stacked over the right, you might extend the arm next to the ear, palm facing down. And the option for the bind, first the back of the left hand to the right hip, then reaching underneath the right thigh on the big toe edge. You might grab the left fingers or that left wrist. Keep the left shoulder back as you lengthen through the spine. Parsvottanasana, side angle pose. Then release the hands to the top of the mat. pick up your back heel, and inhale the front right leg back to a three-legged dog. Keep the hips level with the earth, stack the right hip over the left, bend the knee, and open the scorpion dog. Keep your left shoulder strong. You can stir the right foot and ankle. You might stay here, or if you're going to flip your dog, first float forward. Shoulders over the wrist. Pivot to the pinky toe to the left foot. Right foot dropping behind you, right hand to the heart. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the heart, possibly extending the right arm. Right hand back to the heart, back to the mat. Inhale the right leg back to a three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the foot to downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Bring the feet together, and then roll to the right hand and the pinky toe edge of the right foot for Vashisthasana side plank. And again, you can always come down to the forearm, stacking the left leg or step the foot out in front. Left arm extending towards the ceiling. You might extend the arm next to the ear, palm facing down, lifting the hips, with the option to lift the leg, the arm, and the hips together. Bring the leg back down, hand back to the hip. Very carefully come back to plank. Exhale, lower, either halfway, Chaturanga, or all the way to the earth. Slide forward, drop the top of the feet, lengthen as you inhale, rise up to cobra, or upward facing dog. Stepping over the toes or rolling over the toes, exhale back to down dog. And then come down to your knees and come down to child's pose. For this version of child's pose, go ahead and bring your arms back by the legs, the forehead down, and just allow yourself to relax for a few breaths here. And then come to your forearms, keeping your knees down. And you have a couple of options here. You might interlace the fingers. This is going to be the easier option and the one to go to if you're not sure. And if you tuck that bottom pinky inside of the other pinky, it'll give you a flatter surface where you're not going to squash your fingers so much. You want to make sure your elbows stay under the shoulders. And the other option would be to bring the forearms down, but again, you want to make, or the palms down, but you want to make sure your elbows stay under the shoulders. And then tucking the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips, and press back to dolphin. And just make sure your elbows aren't sliding apart. If they are, then you can go ahead and interlace the fingers if you have the palms down. Lifting or lengthening through the tailbone, pressing through the forearms, keeping the head off the mat. And then bring your shoulders back over the elbows and walk your feet back into a forearm plank. With the elbows under the shoulders, the heels over the toes. Keep the legs in the back in a line and extending the tailbone back towards the heels, lifting the back of the neck towards the ceiling. And then walk your feet towards the elbows and keep the head off the mat as you bring your hips more over the shoulders and over the elbows, coming up onto the tippy toes here. And coming back down to the knees and back down to child's pose. For this version, bring your palms together, and you can bring the hands behind the back of the head with the forehead coming down. And then bringing the forearms back down. And again, your choice whether you interlace the fingers or bring the palms down flat. Keep your elbows shoulder width apart, tuck the toes, and press back to dolphin. This time, step one foot in, just a step or a half a step. And then inhale to bring the opposite leg up. I'll turn sideways so you can kind of get a better idea of where you want to be here. So again, 1 foot stepping in. Inhale I'll say the right leg. Keep your hips level with the earth, right toes pointing towards the floor. Keeping your head off the mat, press through the forearms as you extend through the heel. Then as you exhale, bring the right foot next to the left. Inhale the left leg up. Again, hips level with the earth, left toes pointing down, pressing through the forearms to extend through the left heel. As you exhale, bring the left foot next to the right. Bring the knees back down and come back to sitting. Hey!
Making a cameo appearance is Arya Anjali. Hey! Keeping yourself entertained? Alright, so we're heading towards a forearm stand, or Pinche Mayurasana. There are some options here. You might use a strap, and you might use a block, or, well, I'll go through those really quickly. Hang on there, Arya. So a strap can be used. I happen to have a strap here. This is old snowboard strap. You just to wrap around your leg, and you want to have that strap, or you can use a bandana or a belt, but you want it to be about as wide as your shoulders. Hey, careful. Need to move around a little bit, get some exercise. So that should work. Basically what we're going to use it for is to keep your elbows from sliding apart. And again, this is just an option. I'll first show you without the strap. So again, you can interlace the fingers, and you want to have your elbows, or keep the elbows shoulder width apart. What happens in this pose, the classic version of Pinche Mayurasana, peacock tail feather, translated, but basically forearm stand. So the classic version, palms down. When you try to keep your elbows together and the hands apart, sometimes the hands want to slide together, the elbows wide. So that's where interlacing the fingers can really lock you in place. If you do want to try it with the palms down, if you use a block between the hands, that can help to keep the hands from sliding together, right where the thumb and the pointing finger come together. You might also use two blocks, excuse me, if you have wider shoulders, you can use them in this way, and it'll serve that same purpose. And then the strap is to keep the elbows from going wide. So basically you can combine the two with a strap around the forearms to keep the elbows from going out, and the block between the hands. So I would adjust the strap. I'm not going to use one, but I would bring it a little bit wider than what I have it, or use a belt. But I just kind of wanted to show you what the idea is. So just know those are options. I'm going to use the door. Anywhere you have a wall can help. Of course, you can do it without the wall. Feel free if you want to do it that way. And I'm going to use the door here, so, and the wall, kind of combo. The mat perpendicular to the wall. And you want to start, again, either interlacing the fingers or palms down flat. Use the block or the strap. You want to have at least a half a foot of space between the tips of the fingers and the wall. So you do have some space if you get all the way up. And try to not kick super hard. So more, think of this as lifting yourself up. Hey, Arya. Shh, volume down. So, starting again from dolphin, where we just left off, you want to have your hands at least a half a foot to a foot away from the wall. Again, you can interlace the fingers or palms down flat. Step one foot in. So basically where we just left off, lifting one leg, bend the bottom knee. Think more of lifting with this top leg. You don't have to kick as hard as you do for a handstand. But again, think of it more as a lift. You might just do a few hops, or if you get up, relax the neck and the head to look back towards the middle of the room with the heels together, lifting the heels towards the tailbone
might even find a little bit of balance. You're trying to come back down as softly as you can. So go ahead and give that a few tries. And I'm going to show you another option. For this, got a lot of energy on it. So you might take it to a back bend into scorpion. So for this pose, you still want to have that space. Same approach, a little bit more space. So make sure at least 6 inches to a foot. So make sure you have that gap. And then coming to the forearms, same approach. Lifting a leg, bending the bottom knee, that bottom foot stepped in a little bit. And then when you get up from here, you bend the knees and bring the top of the feet to the wall. You might even come in a scorpion. The idea is to lift the head towards the feet more than you bring the feet towards the head. Keeping the knees hip width apart. And bringing the head back down, feet back to the wall. You might come up to arm stand and back down. So I'll go ahead and show you that in the middle of the room so you can see it from a side angle. But I wanted to show you using the wall. Use some energy up there, are you? Okay. Resting? Okay. So, again, the same approach. Forearms coming down. And stepping one foot in, just a step or a half a step. Lifting the opposite leg, bending the bottom knee. Just a little hop here. Might do a couple. But more of a lift. Again, see if you can relax the neck and the head. And for scorpion here, bending the knees. But more lifting the head. Bringing the head back down, the legs back up. Carefully, without stepping on your 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old, coming back down. And just allow the neck to settle as you orient yourself. Okay, so let's go ahead and tone it back down. So coming onto your back. Hey, Arya. Okay, we're coming to the Shavasana part. We're getting close to this. So coming onto your back. Go ahead and bend the knees, bring the heels in towards the seat. Elbows next to the ribs, fingers pointing up. Walk your shoulders in closer together. And then press down with the feet, the elbows, and the shoulders. As you lift the hips. For Satvibandha Sarvangasana for each pose. Please don't step on me, Arya. Be careful there. You can keep your fingers pointing up, or bring the palms down flat, or you might even walk your hands and shoulders closer together, possibly interlacing the fingers. Then bringing the hips back down, bring the knees into the chest. Arya, this is where we need to kind of calm down. This is the calming part of the class, okay? You can go in your room and run. Bring the knees into the chest. And wrap your arms around the legs. Give yourself a good hug as you gently rock from side to side. You can do this pose, all right? There you go. And then keep your right knee bent and extend your left leg straight out on the mat. Bring the left hand to the outside of the right thigh and the right arm straight off to the side. As you exhale, roll the right hip over the left. Adjust the torso to keep your right shoulder close to the floor. With the neck and the back in a line, you might turn to look past the right fingers. And there is the option if you want to grab the bottom of the right foot on the pinky toe edge of the left hand
and possibly bend that left knee. Grab the top of the foot with the right hand. Then release the left leg and inhale to bring the legs back to center. Extend your right leg, bring the left knee into the chest, right hand to the outside of the left thigh, and extend your left arm straight off to the side. As you exhale, roll the left hip over the right. Adjust the torso to keep your left shoulder close to the floor. With the neck and the back in a line, you might even turn to look past the left fingers. And again, the option to grab the pinky toe edge of the left foot with the right hand, extend the leg, and then you might even bend that right knee and grab the top of the foot with the left hand. Then release the right leg. As you inhale, bring the legs back to center. Reach between the knees and then grab a hold of the bottom of the feet around the outside edges. Bring the feet more over the knees. Hold down on the feet as you press the feet against the hands for happy baby. And feel free to rock it from side to side. And then release the legs straight out on the mat for Shavasana. And again, I'm going to leave you in Shavasana. So, legs just apart, arms just away from the body, the palms facing up. Make sure your neck and your lower back are comfy, and relax.